So, hi everyone. My
Hello.
name is
Hi.
Shailesh Singh.
Hello.
Hi Sailesh, hi everyone.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi.
Thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Shailesh.
Yeah, hi.
Hi,
So I may not be
Shailesh.
able to address you by your name, but hi everyone. Okay. So let me introduce myself to you. Okay, quickly. So my name is Shailesh Singh. I have over 12 years of experience in IT domain, and I started my career as Java developer. Then I switched to QA in software testing. You can say in general words. And I moved to Canada very recently. So I am from India, and I hope you all are from India only. So I moved here and I saw that a lot of our people are struggling to start their career in IT after coming on a student visa, or they want to switch from other career domain to IT, but they don't have the right training, or the trainings are very expensive and they are not as useful as you need at the moment. So I thought at least I can share my knowledge, what I know with you all, so that you can utilize my knowledge to at least start your career in IT. So that was my introduction, a short introduction. I don't want to waste much time on it. So I'm going to share my screen and start the day one. Okay. So give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen now. So let me know once you are able to see my screen. Okay. So on my screen right now, I'm sharing a Word document. Anyone can please confirm whether you are able to see or not. Okay, so I got the text from Manpreet. Thank you, Manpreet. And thanks everyone who are pinging. So see, this is SOA testing and automation course. Okay, so what is SOA? I will cover that part. Okay, as we go in the course. Okay. So I have planned 6 classes. Okay, we will see if we can complete it in 5 days. It's well and good, or it gets extended to 7 days. That is also fine with me. Okay, but we will try to cover it in 7 days. So agenda of first day is overview of software testing and SOA architecture. Okay, so I know the course is about SOA testing and automation, but a lot of people here are from other domains who are not aware of software testing much. Okay, so I will just give overview of software testing, so just the basic thing which they should know before learning any a specific type of testing. Okay. And very quickly, I will just touch a few important topics and then we will move to SOA testing. Okay, so I will not go deep into that. Okay, and I will tell you the resources if you want to deep dive into software testing. But what I am going to tell, that is relevant. Okay, other things it is good to know. If you want, I will give you some URLs. Okay, online, and you can go to those URLs and you can gather the knowledge as much you want. Okay. So coming to this course, okay. So this course is about, so I have written this notes for myself, okay, so that I don't miss anything, okay, which I want to tell you. That's why I have created this document. So this document is not a course material or something, so I'm not going to share it with you. But this session is recorded, okay. So you will find a link where you can see this session after today also, okay. I will give you that YouTube link as well. So this course is about SOA testing and automation using a tool, SOAP UI tool. Don't worry about this. I will tell you what is the SOAP UI tool. If you have read my invitation, Webex invitation, I had given you one URL also to download this tool. If you have already downloaded, it's well and good. If you have not downloaded, I will tell you how to download it. So don't worry. Okay, so that's what I have mentioned. This is a course about SOA testing using SOAP UI tool, but it will also cover basics of software testing briefly, as many participants are completely new to the domain. Okay, and if you already know about testing, so please have patience. Listen to this course for next 30 minutes, and after that we will switch to SOA testing. Okay, but it is important for all the participants to understand what we are going to learn in the next 6 days. Okay. So the first thing, the most important thing, okay, for which we came here, software testing. So before starting software testing, what is software? So we all know what is software. We all use softwares all the day, right? Your banking application, your telecommunication, right? everything. To cross the intersections here in the road, you press a button, then only you can cross the road, right? Otherwise, the crossing signal will not switch on. So that is also software. So we are surrounded by softwares day in and day out, okay, in our day-to-day life. So what is the definition of software? So I will read it for you. Software is a set of instructions, data, or programs used to operate computers and execute a specific tasks. Okay, so first of all, so the interface which you have in your mobile, okay, so that is not only software. Okay, so like you are using Facebook, right? So Facebook, what you see in the mobile is not the only part of the software. Software is a set of instructions, which is a lot of things at the back end as well, which you are not able to see in the interface, but they are also part of the software. Okay, so don't confuse with the software term. So software means the set of instructions which are at the back end also, a lot of data. Okay, and the programs which is executing what you are clicking on your screen and getting you, fetching you the data what you want. Like in Facebook, right? In Facebook, you click on your profile, of one page loads with all your past updates, right? Your photographs, your videos, your friend list, right? A lot of things opens on your UI. So what happens? A lot of instructions runs in the backend. It contacts a lot of data, right? And it fetches it from there, from its source, and it presents to you in user-friendly interface so that you can be able to understand what it is, right? So this is software. So software is not only the interface which you are using, but a lot of things which are at the back end, data, programs, everything constitutes software. Okay. So software is a generic term used to refer application, scripts, and programs that runs on a device. So open any application in your mobile, okay? Be it Gmail, be it Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, banking app, everything is a part of software, okay? So that is what I have written. These days, almost everyone uses software in home, at work, while shopping, and even while crossing roads. We use software in day-to-day business applications such as banking, car infotainment system, right? And self-checkout kiosks. Everywhere, softwares are everywhere. You cannot live without software in today's era, okay? So when we talk about software, okay, so some team develops it, right? Some team develops it, then only it comes to you for the use. So the development has a life cycle. Whenever a software gets developed, it goes through several cycles. Okay, so these are the cycles. So requirement gathering and analysis. So just think about it. Okay, when Mark Zuckerberg thought of the Facebook, so don't go from where the Facebook idea came. Just assume that Mark Zuckerberg developed the Facebook. Okay, for now. So he must be having something in his mind, right? That what I am going to present to the people. Okay, so he must have written, okay, people should be able to update their status, right? That is one requirement. People should be able to update their profile picture. They should be able to update their cover picture, right? They should be able to send a friend request. People should be connected in this way, right? A lot of requirements, right? So he must have documented it somewhere, right? In some document so that he can pass that information to the technical people. So Mark Zuckerberg was a businessman, right? He thought the business, okay, that what I am going to achieve, what I am going to present. And then he broke down those business requirements into technical requirements, right? Then the planning happened, that what we should develop first, what we should develop second, what we should develop third, prioritizing the work, right? How to deploy the first version of Facebook, right? A lot of planning was needed. So for any software, the requirement gathering and analysis happens, okay? So it is not like the way you are uploading your photo was the first thought of, while developing the software. So a lot of analysis happened, whether it will be user friendly or not, whether people will like it or not, right? A lot of analysis happened, right? Then the planning happened. Once the requirement and planning happened, then some technical people came and they designed the interface and the back end and everything. Like when you click on friend list, how the friend list should be presented to you, okay? Right? When you click on photos, right? So how the photos should be segregated, that uploaded by you and uploaded, you are tagged by someone, right? Or you have further classified it in some album, right? So there are several ways, right? So everything needs one design, that how the hierarchy will work, right? When the request will come, what data will get invoked, right? What system will get invoked? From where we will fetch the data, right? What type of communication will be that, right? So all the things happens in the architectural design, and then the real software development happens based on that architectural design. Okay. And when the development happens, development means coding, programming, okay, all the business logics which is needed for Facebook. So once the development is done, we are supposed to do testing whether the developed software fulfills what was planned and what was required, right? So we test the software against requirement, right? And few other standards, enterprise standards, right? And once we pass the testing, okay, once we pass the testing, the deployment happens for the users. So this is the high level information of software development life cycle. So if you have any question, you can ask here. Okay, we will take a pause of 1 minute, and if you don't have any question, we will proceed. Anyone, any question? Okay, no questions are silly. Okay, you can ask anything.
Hello, Shivani here. I just wanted to ask one quick question.
Mhm.
So the software developer develops the software development stage, and before that is done by someone else?
So all are IT people, okay? So
Okay.
once you join as a software developer, after having an experience of 10 years, 15 years, right? You know a lot of things. So you become an architectural design person, right?
Hmm.
Once you move up the ladder, you become a planning person. Then you become a product owner, right? Which gives
Yep.
the requirement.
Got it.
So
Okay.
when
Thank
I
you.
started my career, I was a QA, right? Now I'm a
Hmm.
project manager. I am managing the project.
Okay, and for BA, where does it like it's in requirement gathering, I know, but then
Yes.
as you said, people keep going up, right? So BA comes only in requirements.
Yes, so BA can be anyone, okay? So requirement comes in the so suppose a big picture, okay? Think about a big picture. Suppose one enterprise is getting developed, Facebook, right? So Facebook has many wings, right? Instagram is also under Facebook, WhatsApp is also under Facebook, right? So there will not be only one person who will be giving you requirement, right? So like right now, my current position, I am the product owner, okay? I give the requirement to my technical team, but that requirement comes from someone else, right? Who understands the business better than me. What is the business value of what we are trying to achieve? Suppose we are trying to give some feature, right? Like nearby friends is a feature in Facebook, right? So what is the business value of it, right? Is it worth if we deploy, if we present it to the person, right? Is it going to create any revenue, right? How much people will use it, right? So there are many layers of requirement gathering, okay? So high level, okay. I know many company owners who don't know the technicality. They just want the feature, right? That I want this, right? So if you go to the Tata, right? Ratan Tata may not be able to tell you what the infotainment system is built on, which technology that infotainment system of Tata vehicles are built on, right? But he knew that what he wants, right? Then he passed that information to some business guys, right? So they understood the business. Okay, if we will present this feature, it is going to benefit us in this way, right? Then they broke down to some other level of people, okay, that how you will convert it into technical aspect, whether it is possible or not, right? You want to do a lot of things, whether it is possible or not, whether it is feasible within the budget or not, right? A lot of aspects are there. So there are several hierarchy, right? As you move up the ladder, you keep on moving. But yes, so you will reach some stagnant position at some point of time, right? There must be some end, right, to every line. I hope I answered your question.
Yes,
Anyone
thank you.
else? Anyone else? Okay. So I assume that no one has any question. Okay, thank you. So next thing. Okay, so this is very short description of software development life cycle. Okay, so you all are free after this class. Tomorrow is a free day for us, right? Our next session is on Wednesday. So if you want, you can Google these things. Okay, or you just Google software development life cycle if you want to gather more information, if you want to deep dive into these things. Okay, you can learn it. It is always good to have the knowledge. Okay, but I suggest if you are just starting your career, okay, don't put too much effort, okay? Otherwise, you will lose the interest itself, okay? But if you want, you can go and read the high level things. And the people who have already done some testing, they must be understanding this already, okay? So after the software, okay, so whenever a software gets developed, So there are some risks also associated with the software. Okay, so any factor which could result in malfunction of software in the future is called risk. Okay, suppose a medical software, right, which monitors your blood pressure. Okay, any medical device. If there is a potential malfunction that it may malfunction at some point of time, right, it can cause death also, right, if it does not gives a proper reading. So just think about the risk associated, right? I am creating one website about my family tree and I do some mistake, a typo error. It is not a big mistake, right? It is not going to impact much people, right? I can very easily fix it. But the same typo error in a medical device can cause death also, right? So I want you to understand the risks associated with the softwares, okay? So risk is something which has not happened yet, but may happen in future, okay? It is a hypothetical phenomena, okay? It has not happened yet, but wherever the risk is more, you should be more cautious, right? In those areas. Why we are talking about risk? Because we have to analyze the risk associated with the software, okay? Which part of the software, which functionality of the software it carries more risk, so that we can put more effort, okay? So more effort towards that functionality, okay? So it is usually measured in terms of likelihood and impact, okay? So likelihood of anything and impact, right? So likelihood, so let me give you one example. Let me open one website, okay? So you all must be aware of IRCC website, right? At some point of time, you must have used this IRCC website. So this is the home page, right, of IRCC. If we will go to the bottom of this page, right? So there's a terms and condition somewhere, right? Terms and condition, right? Suppose whenever a user clicks on this terms and conditions, there are chances that this website will hang, right? Right? Suppose there's a risk associated, but how many users clicks on this? What are the chances of the likelihood? Right? Although the impact is huge, right? The entire website is getting blocked. User is not able to use it after that. He has to kill the process and then again restart the browser and again he has to open the IRCC. So severity is more, but likelihood is very less, right? So again, we will read this again. It is usually measured in terms of likelihood and impact, right? So not all software carries the same level of risk and not all the risk have same impact when they occur. I hope you understood this, right? The example which I gave you, right? For software, we consider two things while analyzing risks. First is likelihood of its occurrence, and the second is impact if it happens, okay? So for now, just understand this thing. Whenever you are analyzing risk associated with software, you have to take these things in consideration, okay? Likelihood of this occurrence and impact if it happens, okay? Both give you the priority, how much effort you should put on that functionality, okay? Like the terms and condition in IRCC website, I've told you. So you should not put 2 days of time in fixing this risk, right? Or protecting this risk or from eliminating the risk of terms and condition to fail the entire website, right? You should try, but how much effort is needed, you should fix that, right? Suppose, next thing, suppose now this functionality itself is failing my application. So all the people goes here, right? Whenever anyone visits this IRCC, 90% of the people opens this my application. But the same thing, clicking on my application is blocking the website itself, okay? The browser itself is getting hanging, right? It is not responding. Then what is the risk? Same type of thing, okay? Same error in my application and terms and condition. Same risk, right? Same risk, but the likelihood is entirely different. So the risk associated is different, right? So you will put more effort in minimizing the risk around my application, right? And you will put this thing in lower priority. I'm not saying that it is not important, but priority is relatively lower than my application, okay? So now, so this example I have already given you. Typo error in any informational website won't impact much, but same typo error in any medical software can risk anyone's life. So same mistake has different risk in these two contexts, right? So now, benefit of risk analysis, okay? So when you do risk analysis, how it is going to benefit you, okay? So see, if you're finding this lecture boring, okay, please bear with me for another 15 minutes. The session will become interesting, but these things are important, okay? That's why I'm covering it. So benefit of risk analysis, okay? So developing software, okay, helps while developing software, okay? When you do risk analysis while developing software, it helps developers to understand where to put more effort and be cautious, okay? I already gave you example, right? For while testing software, it helps testers to know where to put more effort and helps them to prioritize the task. So when you have to test IRCC website, you will write more test cases around this my application, and you will test those cases first, right? You will write relatively less test cases, okay, around this terms and condition. If time allows, you can cover both of those, okay, with the same priority, but it does not happen in the real time in the project, okay? You will get a short window. And if you will put a more effort here, you will miss something related to my application. So that's why you should prioritize based on the risk analysis, okay? I will come to what is software testing, okay? But for now, just remember that the risk analysis, how it helps developers and testers, okay? So now, so wherever risks are there, okay? And if it happens, okay? If what we have analyzed in risk, unfortunately, it happens in future, okay? So it results in defects, right? In simple sentence, we can define defects as deviation from requirement, okay? Deviation from requirement, any requirement. My wife asks me to put salt in the vegetable while cooking, right? In the curry, right? She wants me to put 1 spoon of salt. I put only half a spoon, right? So the curry has defect. It does not have a right test, right? And the situation may escalate, right? So any deviation from requirement is defect. Okay, it is not complete. This statement is not 100% correct, but for now, just understand this thing, okay? Any deviation from requirement, okay? So now I will give you one example, okay? So you must be able to see the background, this virtual background behind me, right? If I'll ask any of you, what is the defect in this background? Anyone, can you tell me the defect in the background? Any one of you, if you want, please unmute yourself and tell me. Can you find any defect?
It's the case 4.
Sorry?
It's the case 4 because the case 1, 2, and 3 have the rectangle boxes, whereas it's an oval for the case 4.
Not this one. Not this one. I am saying my. Can you see my video?
Oh yeah, it's the background that you have put.
Yes, the background I
It's
am.
not
Yeah,
the
there is
real
a
background.
Right?
heartbeat medical kind of monitor behind it.
This one.
Yeah.
This
Well,
looks
I
tricky
thought
to
it's
me.
a medical monitor.
So see, this is a tricky question, okay? And you may face this question when you go for an interview, okay? So your answer should be, unless I know the requirement with which the background was built, I cannot talk about the defect. As simple as that. First, tell me the requirement with which it was built. Got it?
Perfect. Makes sense.
So this is a trick question. I used to ask when I recruit people. Okay, I recruit people for my firm, right? So I ask this question. I ask the question, that means whenever any candidate enters the room, I ask him, what is the defect in this room? Can you tell me the defect in this room? And they start telling, okay, that this table should not be at this place, right? This projector should not be at this place, right? But whether they have asked about the requirement. If anyone asks you about the defect, you should ask him about the requirement. Got it?
Yeah.
So what looks as a defect may not be a defect all the time. May be possible that the owner of that thing wants it to look like that, right? If Ratan Tata wants something to look wants something in his car, right? In Tata cars, right? So he is the owner of the car. He can put whatever he wants, right? It doesn't matter what we think about it. We can only highlight that means this does not looks good, but that is not a defect. This is how Ratan Tata wants it to look like, right? I think it is clear, right? So we all do mistakes in our day-to-day life, correct? I think none of us is mistake-free, right? We all do mistakes in our day-to-day life. And when anyone does mistake while requirement gathering, designing, or building any software, it leads to defect. I request you all to read it again with me. When anyone does mistake while requirement gathering, not while testing, okay? While requirement gathering, okay? Like someone asked me, what is the role of BA, right? So if a BA gives the requirement to a technical person and he does not understand the requirement, while documenting it, he makes a mistake, that can also result in defect, right? So mistakes while doing requirement gathering or designing or building the software. This is the development, okay? But mistakes does not happens only while developing the software. While doing the analysis of requirement, we may misunderstand what the business wants, right? And the defect may inject from there itself, okay? It leads to defects which may further cause failures, okay? So not all mistakes results into defect. So some of the coding errors, right, may not always, none of the users will use that feature, okay? Or suppose that is impossible to reach, to use that feature in the code itself, okay? Sometimes we handle those things. If defect is there, right, it may not, all the mistakes may not lead to defect, okay? And all the defects may not cause the failures, okay? I will talk about it more when we go ahead with our session, okay? So defects are there, but not necessarily it will cause the failures. You can understand, like if you are accessing your bank application, right? So you must be having saving account, checking account, credit card, right? So at some point of time, you may have experienced that credit card balance is not showing there in the app, right? Right? But is the software stops working? No. Other things you are able to see, right? So defect is not causing that total failure, right? Okay. So how defects may arise in software. So see this picture very carefully, okay? I will explain it to you. So this is case one, where the correct requirement was analyzed and gathered, okay? And the design was done as per the requirement, and the software development happened as per the design, right? This is the ideal case. The correct attributes delivered, right? You will not find any defect in this, but this is an impossible case, okay? This is the first case is an impossible case. It is an ideal case. Case two, requirement was gathered correctly. The design was done as per requirement, but mistake was done while developing the software, while building the software, right? So product will has the defects, and it is the most easily correctable defects because you have to fix in the code, right? Third case, the requirement was correct, but while designing, the development lead has done mistakes while designing itself. So if design was wrong, the software development was done as per the design. But if design itself was wrong, so this code is also wrong, right?
Yes.
So product will definitely have the defects, and it is relatively costlier to fix. Now you have to go back to correct the design, right? It will take more time to fix. The entire development process has to be done again, right?
Yes.
The case 4, mistakes in requirement, okay? Now this is a very interesting case, okay? So suppose some business people came, okay, and to a technical guys they passed that we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do this, okay? But the person may be thinking about his personal problem or something, right? Humans do these things, right? While driving also we think about a lot of things, and that may cause accidents. Same thing happens there, right? Wherever humans are concerned, mistake can happen, right? So suppose he captured the requirement itself wrongly. There is some mistake in requirement, and all the design, all the software coding, everything happened based on that requirement, right? Product will definitely have the defect, and these defects are hidden from developers and testers. You don't know. You have got the requirement. What was the definition of defect? You remember? Deviation from requirement. Are we deviating from requirement? No. Design was done as per the requirement. Development done as per the design. Product should not have any defect, right? We are not deviating from the requirement, but still it has defect. So that's why I told you that this is not the 100% correct definition. Okay. So this thing was a major problem, okay, in if you will talk 10 years ago or 20 years ago, right? The techniques which we were using for testing and development life cycle, okay? So this problem was very tough because you will not be able to identify unless it goes to the business, right? Or it goes to the end users. Then only they will identify, okay, this is the problem, right? You may have observed in the phone, right? In Samsung iPhones, they release some updates, right? And then they roll it back sometimes, right? Because the defects came, the update was having the defects. So they have to roll it back. And it is very costly, right? Because the requirement itself was wrong. And when it was detected, while using the application as a user, you and me, when we use the application, we found that, okay, this thing is not working. When I'm clicking on it, nothing is happening, right? So this thing is very tough to fix, okay? And we should avoid this case 4. Everything else can be fixed, though case 3 is costlier than case 2, but it can be fixed within the timelines. But if case 4 happens, we don't know when the mistake will be catched, right? Because we, as a developer and testers, we are good, right? We have tested as per requirement. We have developed as per requirement, and it is deployed for the users. So it is very costly, right? So we will talk about these 4 cases in detail, okay, as we move forward. So next topic is cost of defects, which I have already touched here, okay? Cost of defects. So cost to find and fix defect, not only to fix, to find also, okay? Cost to find and fix defect rises considerably across the life cycle. This is what I wanted to show you through this picture. If you catch the mistake here, it is very easy to fix. As you do up things here, the cost will be high. If you do the mistake here in case 4, it will be costliest, right? So the cost to find and fix defects is exponentially proportional to how early you find the mistake in software development lifecycle. If you catch it early, right, you can fix it early and easy. So this is a graph. So so in the requirement phase itself, you found the defect, right? It is very easy to fix that, right? If in the design phase, if you fix that, right? So it increases, right, over a time. If you will not catch at the right time, the defect, the mistake done in requirement, right? If it is cached at this point itself, it can be fixed, right? But suppose it got cached at this position, right, while building. So again, you have to go to the BA, right? And you have to take that requirement. Again, you have to break it down into technical things, right? Technical design. Again, you have to build it. So more cost, right? Again, you have to test it. So more cost will be associated. So it is good to catch defects as early as possible in the life cycle. Okay. So how you will catch it? You are a tester. You must be thinking, right? If someone will tell me this thing, that I must ask him, right? That means I'm a tester. My work starts after development, right? How I will catch a mistake of requirement gathering, right? Anyone has any this question?
Yeah.
We are testers, right? We are testers. We are software testers. Someone has raised the hand. Jace, do you want to say something?
Yes, my question here is, Shailesh ji, wherever the problem is mentioned of requirements and testing, now after the testing, isn't the owners or the planners seeing the product before a deployment?
Yes, it will happen.
Okay,
Right? So it is not that black and white, okay? Like means after the testing, the deployment happens for the users, right? So a multiple cycle happens, okay? So developer also do the unit testing before sending it to the testers, right? Tester test set, right? In one environment, right? And then it goes to the another environment, like for system testing, then integration testing, right? Then what happens? User acceptance testing, right? So a different team will do that testing. So many level of testing happens, okay, before it goes to the end users or the consumers, okay, of that software.
Okay.
But what you asked is valid, okay? Before deployment into the higher environments, like I am testing into a lower environment, right? Environment is nothing, a server, okay? A server, you can understand it as a server. Server is anything. You must have played some games, right? Like Counter-Strike or NFL, something, right? So you
Yes.
create a server, right? Where you play that, right?
Yes.
So it is same like a server where the service is deployed for testing. So when you test it, so it will only go into the next environment once it is approved by the consumers, not by the end users. Don't get confused. Everything does not go to the end user after the testing itself, right? A lot of internal teams play as a users, right? They are the stakeholders, right? So
Yes.
like what, right? So you have seen the messenger app of Facebook, right?
Yes.
Where you all have contacted me,
Yes.
and you have Facebook, right?
Yes.
Both have your friend lists, right? In Facebook also you can see your friend list. In
Yes.
Messenger also all your friends are visible, right? So Messenger is also one internal consumer, and front end Facebook is also one internal consumer. So when we develop get friend list service, right? Just think about it. One service is developed to fetch the friend list. So both Messenger app, Facebook web app, and Facebook mobile app, everyone is consuming that, right? So
Yes.
that team will first see whether the requirement is getting fulfilled or not before moving it to the higher environment
Okay.
for their testing. You got it?
Yes. My only clarity here was that the requirement, whoever, for example, the business analysis takes the requirements.
Mhm.
So whenever the product is developed and it tested, doesn't it go to the person who has actually given the requirement to
Yes,
see
it goes. It
what I
goes. But
gave?
I
So
don't want to talk about it right now. Okay.
okay.
I will cover that part. Okay. Thanks for asking this question. That means you are you are fully attentive. Okay, in this course. So that is a very good question.
Because
Okay. And without that,
I'm not at all from this domain.
that's good. That's good. You are catching the things. Okay.
Thank you.
So it is a very good question, and 100% the stakeholders will review it. Okay. But I don't want to cover it right now because this is just the start of the session. Okay. And we have to keep an eye on the time as well, right? So let me move forward. Okay. So we are sort of time now. So once software reaches the users with defects, it is very costly to fix it, as the entire development cycle needs to be repeated. When I talk about development cycle, this is the development cycle, right?
Yep.
So all the things needs to be repeated if the defect reaches the end users. Okay. You may have observed many apps with defects, but companies are not fixing it quickly as cost to fix the defect is too high. You may have observed some bugs in the application which you use in day-to-day basis, right? I was using Freedom Mobile earlier, okay? And their web app had a lot of bugs. As a tester, I can see that. But they are not fixing it because they had not cached it at the right time. Now the cost to fix that defect is higher than the revenue which they are creating with that functionality. Is it wise decision to fix those defects from business perspective? No, right? I am earning 100 rupees from something, okay, some feature, and the cost to fix a minor defect in that feature costs me 200 rupees. Will I fix that? No, right? So
No.
means it may impact my business, okay, but I will not fix it quickly, very quickly. It will not be of priority to me. But you will lose customers because of that. But such scenarios result in bad user experiences and monetary losses also, right? But software development is not a very simple thing. It is a complex thing. Many level of development, design, testing in across many environments, right? Validations, verification, a lot of things happen, right? So if anything, thanks for the appreciation. Okay, but you are not you don't have any obligation to give me appreciation. Okay, right now within the course, I will tell you where to give the appreciation. Don't worry. Okay, towards the end of the session. So you got this, right? Why it is very costlier to fix that defect once it reaches the users, right? End users. Now, what is software testing? What is software testing? I'm sorry, the first day is totally theoretical, but it is very important. Okay, just listen to it. Okay, the exercise of verification and validation, not only validation. Okay, verification and validation of software against the standards and requirement to achieve a certain level of quality is known as software testing. What is that level of quality? You all please read this line again. The exercise of verification and validation of software against the standards and requirement to achieve a certain level of quality. What is that certain level of quality? How you will know that certain level of quality is achieved or not? Got it?
By meeting the requirements.
Yes. But can you test each and everything? I will give you one example. Okay. There is a text box which accepts only single numeric value from 1 to 9, right? 1 to 9. I want you to test it completely. Okay. It should not accept anything other than 1 to 9, right? Now, the happy scenario, the positive scenario, you will put 1, it should work. It should accept it. 2, accept it. 3, accept it. 4, accept it. Till 9. 9 value, it is simple. You can test it. Not a problem. But it should not accept anything other than those 9 values. Just think about many things apart from that. 26 alphabets in lowercase, 26 alphabets in uppercase, special characters, asterisk, has, right? Ampersand. Just think about this, the possibility. Is it possible to cover those things, all those things while testing?
No.
Will you have that much time?
No.
No. So that's why I asked you to do the risk analysis. Okay. And there are several, so this is risk analysis, right? And there are several testing techniques, okay, which you should follow while testing. It will save your time. So if you will ask me to test a single numeric digit, right, a text box which accepts only single numeric value, right, what I will do is, so most of the error, where most of the error happens, can you answer that? Most of the errors where you do? Edges, right? Correct. Thanks, Abhi. Okay. Towards the boundary, you do most of the errors, right? You have to stop, right? So in driving also, right? In driving also, where you do the mistakes? When you have to turn,
Intersection.
you have to cross somewhere, right? Right? Around the boundaries, on the straight road, no one makes mistake, right?
Yeah.
Right? So where is the boundary of 1 to 9? So your application should accept 1, it should not accept 0. That is 2 boundary values, 0 and 1, right? Now let's move toward the other end. It should accept 9, but it should not accept 10, right? So these are the two, again, 2 boundary values, right? You are not supposed to keep on testing with 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? Once you tested with 10, you have got the confidence, okay, it is not accepting double numeric digits. Once you have tested with 0 and it is not accepting, you are confident that it is not accepting any value lesser than 1, right? You can keep on testing with many values, okay? But is it worth? No, right?
No.
So this is how you minimize your effort. So there are several techniques which I will cover, okay, when I will talk in detail about software testing. For now, you just think about this quality of testing, okay, which we have to achieve and how we will achieve. So what is verification? The process of determining if software is designed and developed as per the requirement. This is verification, right? So what is the requirement? So requirement is person should be able to open Facebook. This is a requirement, right? If they type www.facebook.com, our interface, our login page should open, right? Right? So for this you will verify, right? You will verify all the things, whether it is correctly implemented or not, right? What is validation? So validation is meeting the user's expectation, business expectation, right? So Facebook is made for socializing, right? So you will do the validation whether people are able to communicate with each other or not. They are able to see each other's post or not, right? A lot of things are there for validation. So these are very high level details. Don't think literally about these scenarios, okay? If you will think too much about these scenarios, you will say that Silas is telling the wrong thing, okay? So I am just telling a high level thing now, okay? I will cover it in detail, okay, as we move forward with this course. Don't worry about that. And based on the verification and validation, what is the quality? Okay, the degree to which a component, system, or process meets a specified requirement and business needs and expectations. Okay, so now we have learned about software development life cycle. Now we will talk about software testing life cycle. How many of you has appeared in driving test here in Canada? Anyone, any volunteer who will help me while discussing this? Anyone who has recently given the Manpreet, right?
Yeah.
Manpreet. So I will talk to Manpreet then. Okay. So Manpreet, when you went for testing, right? So your evaluator, was he carrying some paper or something with him?
Yeah, he was carrying a yellow sheet, which was the instructor sheet.
And when you were driving, he was putting some tick mark against and cross marks against a lot of things, right?
Yeah. He was noting down everything, whatever I'm doing.
So what was that, right? So he had planned, right, beforehand, right? That based on what he is going to test you, right? He had the plan in hand that I will test him with these things, and it was documented whether he is doing the shoulder check or not while changing the lane, right? That was in his plan, right? Whether you are stopping at a stop signal or completely stopping at the stop sign or not. These are the test plans he had in mind, right? Were you aware of all those things that I will be evaluated on these basic points? You were aware, right? You were aware, right?
My instructor who taught me driving, he told me
Yes.
to check that. He actually gave me a copy of that sheet before even giving the road test.
Yes. So you practiced also, right? You
Yes.
practiced also, right? But still you may have missed few points,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Right? So like that only, okay? Developers know what to develop, okay? And they know how it will be tested, but still they make some mistake unintentionally, right? So testers should have test planning, okay? That how many use cases are possible. What are use cases? What are use cases? So there is one application, okay? All of you must have called the customer care or help desk at some point of time, right? When you call, whether they ask about your customer ID or account ID, most of them don't ask it, right? Because they have a application where your call gets connected, and with the registered mobile number, they detect which customer is calling, right? Correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Right. So how many use cases are possible in this, right? The customer may call from registered mobile number. The customer may call from unregistered mobile number. These are two use cases, right? The user can call from Canada. The user can call from outside of Canada. This is also possible, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you have to test that application, these will be your use cases, right?
Yes.
So this is how you create use cases in planning, that what I have to test. What are all the possible scenarios which may occur? Okay, when the end user will use it. Okay, when the consumer will use it, how many use cases can happen? What will be the scenarios? You think about it, you document it. Okay, you document it, that what I have to test. Okay, then you design your test cases based on the test planning, right? The first use case, right? The system should detect the right customer ID with the registered mobile number. Now you will pass a valid mobile number, and you will see whether the service is fetching the right customer ID or not, right? This is a test case for that. You will pass a wrong mobile number which is not present in the system, and you will see whether the consumer is able to fetch anything or not, or the system is giving a proper error message or not, right? So this is how you create your test cases. I will talk in detail about these things, okay, on day 2 and day 3. Don't worry about this. Now, the third thing, in test environment setup. Test environment setups nowadays, everything is moved to cloud. Okay, so most of the time we don't do it, but this is not only server test environment. You may be testing your project with the help of some tools, some databases, right? So you will make them available, okay, for yourself. If you don't have access, you will raise the access, right? If you don't have the right query to fetch from database or from any system, you will prepare those things. How to prepare, I will tell you. Okay, don't worry about that at this point of time. Next is test execution. Now your test environment is ready where you have to test. The server is ready, right? The server is ready, the tool is ready, everything is ready. The test cases you have designed, right? Right? And here I have missed one thing, okay? So while designing the test case, I have written breakdown use cases into test cases and creating RTM. What is this RTM? I'm really sorry. I think we have already crossed 9. No, 3 minutes are left. So do you want me to extend or you want me to
You can
close the session
extend
here?
if you like to.
I can extend for another 5-10
Okay.
minutes if you all are okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we are okay.
Okay. Anyone who is not okay, please ping in the WebEx chat. I don't want anyone to miss anything.
I have a quick question.
No problem, we are okay.
Okay. Okay. So what question you have?
Yeah, so when we were talking about testing the box, it should have only single digit value in that, and it should not accept any double digit.
Mhm.
A testing team can also use a program in which we can say like it should accept only 0 to 9 and nothing other than that. So when you were saying we don't have the time to the whole world of like of words and numeric things and anything else, like it should not accept. A program can be made with a single click that okay, only this and nothing other than that, which will not take a time.
Yes,
Correct?
but to develop that script, okay, so I have given you a very trivial case, okay, of single digit numeric value, right? But in the real time, when you will test in the project, the cases will be much complex, right? And creating a script will take time, right? Creating that a script will also take time, right?
Okay,
And
I was
and who
thinking
will
we can
test that
use a
script? And what is the guarantee that you will not do mistake while creating that script?
yeah, I thought like we can use just a program.
No, we can do that. That is automation for you. Okay. It is good that
Okay.
you're thoughtful. You will do automation. Okay. But you cannot skip manual testing in first phase. We will come to the automation. Okay. I will teach you automation as well. And it is very important in today's world. Okay. If you want to make a career in IT, you must know some level of automation at least. And it is not tough to learn. Okay. If you will follow what I am covering in this session, it will not be tough to learn. Trust me. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so test execution, you did the execution, right? And no, I was here, right? Break down use cases into test cases and RTM. So what is RTM? RTM is requirement traceability matrix. Requirement traceability matrix. Okay. So you map all your test cases which you have written against the requirement, that all the requirements are getting covered with these test cases or not. So for this requirement, I have written 10 test cases. For this requirement, another 10 test cases. So you will maintain it in some tool. Okay. So the most basic tool is Microsoft Excel. In Excel, you can keep the requirement in requirements. So use cases you already have in test planning, right? You have break down the requirement in test planning, right? Use cases. In the first column, you can write use case 1, right? And then you have 10 test cases to you test that use case. So you should have mapping so that any requirement will not be missed. Okay. So you have this RTM, okay, created. That means I have written test cases for which use cases. You should be having one mapping, okay. So once you execute the test cases, there will be test closure. So just read what is there in test closure. Ensuring the exit criteria. What is the exit criteria? I told you it is impossible to test everything. All the combination and permutation and combination, it is impossible within the certain timelines. So there you define one exit criteria where I have to stop. After achieving what level of quality I have to stop testing. Otherwise, you will keep testing for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? And the cost of the project, the project will miss its deadline, right? So the exit criteria must be defined, and it is defined by all the stakeholders, including testers. Okay, that when we will be confident enough to close the testing. Okay, then you have to document the metrics, whatever you have found a defect, your test case passed, right? What request you have used, what test data you have used, right? What response you have achieved, right? Everything needs to be documented. And the report of the test, okay, report of the test, the use case one, right? Test case one. The test case which was written for use case one has passed, okay? If it has failed, why it has failed, okay? Have you logged the defect for that or not? Whether that defect is fixed or not, right? Everything will be there in the report. And it will be shared to all the stakeholders, and test suits maintained properly for future use, okay? So whatever you have already tested, okay, you should not be doing a rework on that in future, right? So you should maintain that test case. At least the test cases, test planning, RTM, everything should be there in some repository, so that in future also, if some enhancement or modification comes for the functionality, you have to test it again, right? Because if you do some modification, it may be possible that it is breaking the existing implementation itself. So if any enhancement happens, in any modification happens, you need to test it again, right? So at that time, it will save your time if you will maintain the test suits. We call it as a regression test suits, okay? Regression, okay? I will cover that in detail, okay? But for now, you can understand that test suits need to be maintained, okay? Now, companies always want to build software of highest quality, but not on the cost of project, overshooting the budget and timelines. So the ultimate aim to have the software when they need it, and cost should not be too much. Okay, this is the ultimate purpose for all the software development. Everyone wants everything perfect, right? But not on the cost of the project. There is a certain budget, right? Budget and timelines, right? So if you are overshooting that project budget and timeline, okay, the functionality which you have developed or tested will be of no use if it is missing the budget itself, right? If the client is not ready to spend that much, and then what's the point of developing it? So how much testing is enough? Always remember, okay, exhaustive testing is not possible every time. If you have time, you should test everything, okay? You should test everything, okay? You should not give excuse, okay, that we should not test everything. If you have time, if you think you can test everything, you should test everything. But that is not the ideal case all the time, right? Then testing everything, all combinations of input and preconditions is not feasible except for trivial cases. So I hope I answered your question about the numeric value test box, right? For trivial cases, still you can cover it, but not for all the cases.
Yeah.
So instead of exhaustive testing, we use risks and priorities to focus testing efforts, right? Risk analysis. Remember, I had covered this, the second point of my today's session. The risk analysis, and based on that risk, we prioritize our testing, where we have to put more effort, right? Again, I will give you the example that help desk, where the call comes, right? And the system automatically detects whether the customer already have customer ID or not, right? If customer is already existing customer with the registered mobile number, it will fetch you the details of customer, right? So now any tester can test whether the mobile number has any alphabets in it or not, right? Right? But think about that scenario. Will that ever happen? If someone is calling you and you have an intelligent system to detect the mobile number, will that mobile number have the alphabets in it? Answer me.
No,
No.
Have you
Not at
received
this
any
point,
call
though.
on your mobile with alphabets in it?
never.
No,
No,
never seen that.
never seen that, right? So this is the risk analysis. This is a valid test scenario, valid test case, right? When I'm testing it, it is a valid test case. But will it happen? So shall I put more and more time on such test cases? If you have time, please cover that, okay? We should cover that if we have time. But we should insist more on the functionalities which are likely to occur more, okay? Which has more severity, more impact if they fails, right? Now, is the picture clear why we should do the risk analysis?
Yep.
Yes. So now, what is the time now? 9:06, another 4 minutes, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So everyone wants to test software completely, but can we actually do that within the project timelines and within allocated budget? This is the question, okay? And I am only answering this. Most of the times answer is no. Then what should we do? Shall we send software to end users without full testing? No, we should not send without full testing. We should do right amount of testing, okay? By prioritizing the area of test based on risk analysis, right? So if you will ask someone, a beginner level of tester, he will say, hey man, you have not tested a mobile number with alphabets in it, right? But if you are an experienced tester and you know where this application will be consumed, right? The beginner, the initial level, the tester may not be understanding that how this application is going to be used, where it is going to be used. But as an experienced person, you should know, right, why we are building this, from where this requirement came. So you should understand the business, right? How this service which you are developing, how it will be going to be consumed. So there will be a computer system through which the call will get connected. It will detect the mobile number. So there are less chances that there is impossible. It is impossible to have alphabets within the mobile number on that interface, right? So that is how you do your risk analysis. So you will keep that test case, but lower in priority. If you are running out of time, you can skip that test case, right? Because the likelihood is impossible, almost impossible. Also, we should apply few standard testing techniques to further minimize the testing effort. So like I talked earlier also, we do boundary value analysis, right? Like for numeric test box, 0 and 1, 9 and 10, we had narrowed down our test data. So we call that term as boundary value analysis. So this is one of the testing techniques. There are many more testing techniques which we will cover as we proceed with our course. So now type of testing, functional testing, non-functional testing, or example is performance testing. Performance testing means how many users can use Facebook at the same time? Answer is millions, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there must be some point after that, if more than that, those many users start testing using Facebook, it will collapse. The system will collapse. You must have seen the downtime in WhatsApp in recent times, right? Right? In Twitter also, right?
Yep.
Why it happens? Because the system has been built for maximum number of users, and that maximum limit you have reached, right? So there you have to create alternate servers to serve the request. But sometimes even the best of the software companies miss to do that. It happens all the time with Twitter, with Facebook, with WhatsApp, with Google, right? It happens, right? You cannot make any software defect free. It is impossible to make it defect free. Mark my word. Don't run towards perfection. Just run toward the degree of quality which is needed. Okay. 99% of the things in this world does not start because people wants perfect start. I'm telling you. Okay. I want to be a perfect tester before starting my career. You will never start. Just start it and make it perfect. Okay.
Yes.
So
Basically, we need to focus on the risk associated with that in testing. If that is
yes.
covered, that's a good enough time put towards that, right?
Yes, correct. So you have to think about it, okay? Like means we have how much population we have in the world, okay? How many users we already have on Facebook? How many users? So when you are thinking from the performance perspective, and you should know how much load my system will take, maximum load you should know. So that is a part of testing, that what is the load testing, right? A stress testing, a lot of testing happens. That what is the break point? If I'll reach 5 million people, my system will stop responding. So I should be aware of that. Then only I can handle that, right? That whenever 5 million people reached, the request will go to the another server, right?
Yep.
So, but unfortunately, we are not covering that performance testing in this course, okay? Performance testing is non-functional testing, and we are covering SOA testing, which is a part of functional testing, okay? For SOA also performance testing happens, okay? but we are covering only functional testing. Okay, so that is what I have written. In this course, we are covering only functional testing. So I think we have already reached 9:10. So here I am putting a full stop. Okay. I wanted to cover more, but these all are theory, and I wanted to give you a real lifetime examples. So that's why it took time, but don't worry, tomorrow we will be quicker than this. Okay. So one thing, okay. One thing before we all leave. So can you all open, I hope you all are connected from desktop only, right? Not from mobile. And if you are from mobile also, this session is recorded, you can refer it, okay? So I just want all of you to go here, who has not already downloaded SOAP UI, open soapui.org. soapui.org. Do we have Nujhat, any chance? Sivani, you have raised your hand. Do you have something to say?
Yep. And I can wait. That's fine. Thanks.
Sorry?
I can wait, I said.
Okay. So have you opened soapui.org in browser?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Now you can go to downloads or here, SOAP UI open source. If you will scroll down, you will find SOAP UI open source. What is open source? It works without license, okay? You need not to pay anything. So this course is free and I am using all the free resources for you to learn, okay? So get started now. Click on get started now, okay? So this is SOAP UI open source. Click on download now. So here again, it is asking you ready API. Don't click on this. This is a licensed version. They will give you it for 14 days free of cost, but after that it will stop working. Okay. So for now, I will teach you this as well. Okay. Towards the end of the course. But for now, just click on download SOAP UI open source. Click on it. It will download here. Okay. At the left bottom corner, you can see it is downloading. So one of the participant, she is very new to the IT field. Okay, so she was not able to identify where it is getting downloaded. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you that when you click on this, see at the left bottom corner. Okay, so it is taking time. Okay, once it is completely downloaded, we will install it. So I already have installed it. So any one of you can share your screen. Anyone wants to share his or her screen? Shivani, Manpreet, anyone, any volunteer?
Yep. I can share.
I can share, Sailesh.
Shivani, right?
Yes.
Mehul? Okay,
So I
Sivani.
am giving you presenter, making you presenter. Okay. So I hope
Okay.
everyone can see Shivani's screen now. So you have already downloaded, already installed also.
Yes.
No, I want someone who is installing right now. So you can unshare your screen. Okay.
Okay.
Who else? Who wants to be a volunteer here now? Manpreet, you have also downloaded? Anyone else who is still installing?
Yes, I also downloaded Shailesh.
Downloaded, but not installed, right? Not installed, right?
No, I installed it.
Installed it.
Yeah.
I can share if you want.
What's your name? Sorry.
Sonia.
Sonia. Okay. So I am giving you presenters, right? Okay. Now you will be able to present it. Are you sharing your screen? Sonia?
It's getting hanged. I don't know why.
No, so you have to share the screen. I think you are sharing something else, whiteboard or something. You have to share your screen. Yes. Now open the SOAP UI, which is downloaded. Just click on that arrow, and open the folder. So in folder. That is still downloading for you. So wait for 14 seconds. So is it downloaded now? No,
I think it is
still
20 minutes.
No,
12 minutes
there
left.
is 12 minutes.
So you are connected to a very slow network. So you had downloaded Ready API as well, Sonia. I can see that.
I can
Yes.
share my screen. It's installing right now.
Who is this?
Shivani?
Can you share your screen now then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, this is how it will install. So don't click on anything unless I ask you, Shivani, okay?
Okay.
So
Can you see my screen?
it must be loading, right? No, don't stop. Don't stop. We can see your screen. Just open that SOAP UI. Not from there. In the toolbar, right? Taskbar at the bottom. At the bottom where you
Yeah.
can see Google Chrome and all, right?
Yes.
So SOAP UI, the last one in your
This one,
taskbar.
right?
You
Yes.
have Mozilla Firefox,
Mm-hmm.
Chrome, right? Norton, everything opened at the bottom. Go to the bottom.
Yep.
No, I can see your cursor at the top. Go to the bottom. Okay, never mind. Okay, leave it. So I think you all are smart enough. Okay, so once downloaded, you can follow the instruction on the screen, click next, next, next. And if it gives you an option of tutorials, check that box. Okay, download the tutorials as well. It will be good for you to learn. By default, I think it is unchecked. But if you have already installed, no problem. I will give you enough resources to learn. Okay, but if you have the chance, Kalpana, you are raising your hand. What happened?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Please.
I'm
Go
at
ahead.
the next thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Share your screen. Share your screen, Kalpana. I have given you the presenter rights.
Oh, okay. Can you see my screen now? Okay,
Not
sorry.
yet. Not yet.
Okay,
Yes, now we can see.
right.
Yes. So a smart beer, that's fine. Click on next. Next. Okay, so 1 minute. Uncheck that view the release notes. Uncheck that. So I think they have removed the tutorials option itself. Okay, just click on finish. Okay, sorry for wasting all of your times. Okay, I thought they are still finish. Click on finish. So they are not giving the option of tutorial nowadays. So that's fine.
Okay.
So you have installed the SOAP UI. Okay.
Okay.
So we will
Sorry,
use
those
this
were
SOAP
my
UI for
kids.
SOA
Sorry.
testing on day 3rd, or from I will try to start from day 2 itself. But let's see.
Okay.
So you can, if you all want to give me some feedback, okay? So I am sharing my screen. You can note it down. So if
Hi,
at all
sorry
you
to interrupt.
yeah, sorry, yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I actually asked you before. I have a Chromebook. I have installed, but I am not able to install it. I have downloaded.
Can you
So, is there
share
any
your
other way?
screen? Can you share your screen?
What?
Chromebook has which OS? It has Windows only, right?
No,
it
it's
has
Google
Chrome
Chrome.
OS.
Google Chromebook.
Chrome OS, yeah.
It's a Chrome OS.
I do
She
not
won't
think
be
it's
able to
Windows
install it.
based. It's I
I'm
think it's
not
like
sure about it. In
Android.
Mac and Windows, you can install, but I'm using Mac and Windows both, and in both I can use it. So I'm not sure what we can do. There must be something. Let me see. Okay. If anyone wants to drop from the call, they are free to do so. Okay. If you are running out of something, okay, out of time. And let me see for you. Okay. If we
Yeah,
have anything or
sure.
so let me share my screen. I think you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
So downloads, resources, or why don't we type SOAP UI for Chromebook, right?
Yes, Google Chromebook.
Let's see. plugin browser extension plugin SOAP UI. SOAP UI is already in SOAP UI for Chromebook. It is there, but which website is this? Let me see.
Thank you, Shailesh. I'm dropping off.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Please.
Thanks.
Please connect on Wednesday, okay?
Sure, I will. Good night.
So let me stop the recording as well, okay? So this is the official end of the day 1 session, and we will connect back again on Wednesday, same time, okay? So let me stop the recording and all. I'm stopping the sharing also for a moment, and after that I will again share, okay? So let me stop the recording. And I was streaming it on YouTube as well for the future users. So let me stop that as well.
Okay.